Pickaxe Loop, Take 3. This is the third time I've ridden some sections of this 370-kilometre, mostly gravel trail in eastern Ontario. This time I hope to ride sections I've missed before. These maps should give you a general idea of the location, but if you're interested, just Google it. You can download a GPX file of the whole route. It was a ride of about 160 kilometres, or 100 miles for the metrically challenged, to where I wanted to start again. Not a bad ride. No complaints here. This section winds its way through forested lands to the north of the Madawaska River, before heading along the river to the little community of Griffith. As you can see, the road's in pretty good condition, rideable on just about any bike. I was in no hurry. The old Guzzi was running beautifully, and the weather was just about perfect. Not too hot, not cold at all, and not even windy. I almost always stop at these little creek crossings. I'm not sure what I expect to see. A beaver or otter perhaps, maybe a heron, although usually a couple of lethargic frogs is the best I encounter. No worries, it's just nice to take a break sometimes. There's something immensely satisfying riding an old, reliable bike down narrow gravel roads in the middle of nowhere. Reliable, I hear you chuckle? Well, mostly reliable. You probably noticed the Pelican case on the back of the bike. In it is a full toolkit, pump, battery booster, and various bits and pieces which I might have to use to get the old girl started again if she lets me down. She almost never does though. She just chugs along comfortably, soaking up the bumps and making me happy. Eventually, after quite a few miles, the route rejoins the Madawaska River for the last part of this section. The gravel road surface had turned to mud, but at least it was stiff. Just before hitting the highway, I noticed a couple of riders having lunch by the river, so I swung over to see if they were riding the same trail.
That is cool! Alright, I love those things! You get to catch ours. Buddy, how's it going? That's wicked! What year's that? 72. Yeah.
John and Kent were out exploring back roads for the day. Great guys. This next section was also along the Madawaska River for a few miles. More trees, the occasional glimpse of water, and a good gravel road surface. I've ridden this section countless times before on everything from a 1960 Panther to my Suzuki Cavalcade, because it's a shortcut from Quaidville across to Griffith. Each time I'd notice side trails which I usually rode right by. This time I decided to explore. I would have liked to have had a little audio rumble to accompany my ride down this trail, as the bike was sounding mellow and magnificent. Sadly, on my way back from Newfoundland earlier in the year, I left my audio recorder in a motel room in Fredericton, and I haven't got around to replacing it yet. The external microphone I was using with my camera was in a fanny pack on my back. Sadly, I picked up the rustle and scrape of my leather jacket, and it more or less ignored the motorbike sounds. As those of you who've watched some of my other videos will know, I'm rather fond of hiking, so taking a short stroll in the woods to see what's at the end of the trail is no hardship for me. The trail looked well used, although with no other vehicles in the parking area, I was unlikely to bump into anyone. What's that I hear? The sound of rushing water? That was worth the diversion. That was a nice gentle walk down to the river, beautiful little rapids, super camping area. It looks like a nice trail along the river too. I filled up with fuel in Quaidville, then headed towards my next unridden section. John and Kent had warned me that this section had some loose sandy parts, and they weren't wrong. Nevertheless, it was a delightful little rural road with some attractive log barns and a nice Wesleyan church. After lunch in Barry's Bay, I set out on the final leg. The Powell Lake Road section had so far been my nemesis. First time, the Panther broke down. Second time, my phone containing my digital map dropped and broke. How would I fare now? Well, let's see. At first, a nice gravel road. Then a four-wheeler track. To go or not to go, that is the question. I think I'll have a look, just see what it looks like. Discretion sometimes is the better part of valor. I think I'll just have a walk up here and see what it looks like. But some of these rocks are a little too big. I'm going to crack the sump out of the bike if I'm not careful. And it's so loose. Yeah, I think I'd be wise not to go too much further. Too bad, because it's a great little trail. Hit one of those and I'd be in bad shape. It's as big as my foot. Destined to be skunked by the Powell Lake Road. Those cobbles were just too big. I'd be in danger of taking the sump out of my bike, and much as I like riding little roads like that, I'm not interested in wrecking this bike. It's too valuable to me. This is one of the places that I often stop when I'm on a longish trip on my way back, just for a break. Nice little parking lot area here. It's nice, quiet. There's rarely anybody here. It's just a nice place to have a break. If you enjoyed this video, there's lots more of this kind of thing in my books, which are available from Amazon and Audible in paperback, digital, and audiobook formats. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe, like, and all that normal stuff.